Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Tea Lounge with Miss J. Of course, you guys know I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, here to bring you guys another wonderful episode of the Tea Lounge. Of course, you guys know we are a celebrity-based podcast show where I talk with celebrities about various topics. Very excited to be introducing you guys to my next guest. She is an up-and-coming author who is making waves with her beautiful book, Prince and His Mother's Crown: Tales Within My Mother's Hair. Ooh, that title gives me chills. I just love it. Absolutely love it.
Thank
Yes, everyone, please give a very warm welcome to Miss Shellice Beharie. Hi.
Hi, how are you guys?
Doing good. We're super excited to be talking with you. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm going to just go ahead and fire off the first question at you because I definitely want to get to know you more. What began your passion for writing?
I started writing from when I was a little girl. I remember I was 6 years old and we had an assignment where we were given like two cardboard pieces of paper and my teacher lined it with wallpaper. And then
Mm-hmm.
we bound the book, we put pages in a book and then we bound it. And she said, pretty much make up whatever story you want to make up. And then this will be your assignment. And all of us are going to turn it in and read our stories together. So I remember making up a story called Boy, What a Day. And I didn't know that that would be the theme that would run throughout my life. Boy, what a day. But I was only 6 years old and I made up this cute little story about how, I stumbled out of bed and everything was going wrong and boy, what a day it was. But ever since I was a little, I've always loved to creative write and make up stories and use my imagination and creativity to just like create stories. It was just a fun thing for me to be able to do. And I was an avid reader, and I loved reading all types of books and all types of stories. So,
Mm-hmm.
just being able to creatively write and get my ideas on paper. So that's been a love of mine for a really long time.
I love that title though. Boy, what a day, because I feel like that's my life. Boy, what a day. Boy, what another day. I feel like you're speaking on my life there, Shelly.
I think I'm speaking to a lot of people right now.
That is like the best book title I've ever heard in my entire life. Because that is my life. Boy, what a day. I love it. I love it. Kind of going on to the number two questions. What type of stories do you like to tell? Where you like to gravitate to?
Um, I like fiction because you can create whatever you want with no judgment. You can write storylines, plot lines, anything that you want, and organize it in whatever way that you want to, and pretty much not be judged on it. Like you can use your whole vivid imagination for fiction stories. So I've always loved to read fiction. Of course, I like biographical stories and history and stuff like that. But fiction has been a big love of mine for a really long time. So yeah,
Yes.
I love fiction stories.
Yes, me too. Me too. That's my go-to is the fiction stories. Yes, I feel a connection coming, Shalise. I feel a connection coming. So I'm so happy I have you on my show because I feel a strong connection coming.
All right.
Going on to the number three question, like I said in the beginning, you wrote a stunning book called The Prince and His Mother's Crown: Tales Within My Mother's Hair. Can you give the Tea Lounge audience a backstory? What was the inspiration behind the book?
Okay, well, the backstory on my book, I have two little boys,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my little boys has always been infatuated with my hair. And ever
Oh.
since he was little, he'd go to sleep, he'd play in my hair, he'd wake up, he'd want to comb my hair in all different styles. Like, hair has been his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And my other son took notice to it and was like, he loved to read too. He was an avid reader. And he was like, you should write a story about Christian like loving your hair. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool little idea, you know what I mean? and,
Yes.
and it was very interesting because we would go into stores like Barnes and Nobles to look for books for my son to read, both of my sons actually. And I didn't really see a lot of male Black protagonists in stories,
Right.
in children's, especially children's picture books. And I was taken aback by that. And I was like, there's a real lack of that in the literary world, in the publishing world. And, I concocted this idea. I mean, with the help of my son, of course, with both of their help, in writing this story to kind of represent them, you know what I mean? And to have them be able to identify with children of color in books.
Yes.
So at first, it started off as just something that I was going to leave them as a legacy to show my sons how important they are to me in writing this book, but at the same time, to spread the love to everybody else and to have other little boys and girls of color and just other children period be able to enjoy a story of love and family and connection and the love between a mother and son. So that's pretty much my inspiration behind my book.
And that's really touching. And I'm really glad that you did that because, of course, when I was growing up reading, I was an avid reader too. That's where you would find me, is in the library. I just love to read. But, it did bum me out that I didn't, read a lot of books that, had African American girls as the center of the story. We were always the sidekick or the aftermention or, the wise person that says like one line and then we're gone for the rest of the book. Yes, you know what I'm talking about.
No, and I do, and it was so funny because I'm probably dating myself when I say this, but back in the day, like I didn't really see any books of color for little girls.
Right.
And this was back in like the early 80s. And I think the only characters, and I know this might sound horrible to some people, but this is just how it was. Like the only the characters that I could semi-identify with were the Berenstain Bears. Because they were brown. And you know what I mean? I knew I wasn't a bear, or you know what I mean? But like they were the only I was like, yeah, they're like family oriented. They're cool. They live in this like nice upscale tree.
Yes.
They love each other. That was like the only book, and they're brown. You know what I mean? So it's funny to like the compare and contrast of that. But that was like the only thing that I could remotely relate with as a kid, because there were no books of color for me to identify with.
Right. Me too.
I'm pretty sure that's a lot of people's story.
Mm-hmm. No, that is, and I had to agree with you on that one. I had almost every Bears and Bears book there was. If there was a new one, I demand my mother to get it. If you want peace in this house, then I need the Bears and Bear book. Okay, I did not mess around, so I totally understand where you're coming from for that.
Right, and then once you got it, you sat in a corner and you read your story and you were quite happy. Yeah.
Yes, with my juice box. Yeah, I sure did. No judgment whatsoever with my juice box, daring someone to say anything. Okay.
Right. Get your read on, girl. Get your read on.
Love it. Oh my gosh. Going on to number 4, what I got from your book was absolute messages of positivity, love, and acceptance, like you said. But for others who are just now discovering your book or just reading it, what message do you hope they take from the book?
I really hope that they can take, especially positive messaging for African American boys.
Mm-hmm.
That they are loving, that they are kind, that they are compassionate and caring, especially to the women in their lives, because the relationship with Prince and his mother in my story is very touching in the sense that, little boys, especially African American boys and boys all around. I'm not just going to generalize, but the most important relationship that they will have is with their parents, and especially with a woman is their mother. So, being a proud Black woman and being a proud mother of 2 boys, I really hope that they take away the message that Black boys are bold and they are proud and they are kind and they are caring and they are compassionate and they love women and they love their moms. And, they're not a threat in any way, especially the social climate that we happen to be living in. So I just want people to take away that message.
Hallelujah. That is a beautiful message that I hope they take away too. Thank you. They are not threatening. They are kind. They are strong. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Finally, that is a message that we definitely need today. 100%.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I love it. I love it. Going on to the number 5 question, I want to make sure my audience keep up to date with you, your books, your work. Where are you on social media?
Okay, well, if you guys want to check out my book a little bit more, you can find me at www.authorShelliceBeharie.com, and that's spelled ShelliceBeharie, and that's B as in boy, .com. So author.ShelliceBeharie.com, and then you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Shellice Beharie author. So the website is author Shellice Beharie, and then my social media handle is Shellice Beharie author. So that's where they can find me. So come on, follow, tag, share, comment, like, check out the website. My website's really fun. So it's very interactive. Like, I made it for parents and children at the same time because it has a little animation. So kids will love it. If they're with their parents, they'll be able to see Prince like popping out of his mom's hair, and lots of pictures of my book are up on the website for them to see. So I hope that kids, along with their parents, are able to visit my website. So
absolutely, I highly encourage everyone to like, follow, support, and go follow Miss Shellice. Her books are beautiful, and you will definitely love Prince and His Mother's Crown book for sure. So make sure you guys support her, follow her on the website, and follow her on all social media, because I know I will. So going on to the number 6 question. Are there any future projects that you're involved with that you can just give a little dish to the Teen Lounge audience?
Yes, I have a whole bunch of projects I'm actually working on. A writer's job is never done.
Of course.
I'm always in the creative stages and process. So this is the first book of my series. So this is Prince and His Mother's Crown, Tales Within My Mother's Hair. And then the next book to come that people should be looking for is Prince and His Mother's Crown, Hair Apocalypse. And then the third book in the series is Prince and His Mother's Crown, A Very Hairy Christmas. So it's like a trilogy of books. So I'm finished working on them, but I haven't released them as yet, but they're, something to look forward to. I have a couple of other books that I have in the works right now, in the creative process. So yeah, but that's what I'm currently kind of working on right now.
Ooh, it sounds exciting. I cannot wait to read more in this series. I'm so happy that you're starting a series. So it's definitely a book that definitely needs to be serious. So I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm going to keep up for more. And I encourage my audience, of course, you guys keep up for more as well. Going on to the number 7 question. What goals do you hope to achieve with your writing career?
Well, obviously I hope to publish more books. That's a dream of mine. I actually would love to link up with a mainstream publisher, which is kind of, I'm not going to say it's not impossible. I'm just saying that, mainstream publishing have not really been the best when it comes to voices of color and representing voices of color in mainstream literacy, like in the literary community. Sorry. So I would love to actually, find a literary agent. Regina Brooks, if you're listening, hey, I'd love to be one of your new clients. So, yeah, finding me a literary agent would be nice. That would be a sweet deal. And then getting hooked up with a mainstream publisher. That's pretty much my goal at this time in my writing career. And if that doesn't happen for whatever reason, but anything I set my mind to, I pretty much do. But you know, if that doesn't happen to happen, then I'll continue to keep on self-publishing my own books and get it out there that way. You know,
Yeah.
that's the beauty of self-publishing. You know, your voice will be heard.
Absolutely. And let's speak into existence. You get a mainstream publisher because you're absolutely right. We need more people of color in mainstream writing and publishing as well. So speaking into existence, Regina Brooks, I know somebody, call her up, listen to this video and call her up immediately. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's get the ball rolling. you know? All right. I just got 3 more questions for you, Miss Shellice. Going on to the number 8. What are some of your favorite authors and why?
Okay. I love all different authors. I am a lover of poetry. So I will have to go with my man Langston Hughes. That's kind of a throwback. I love
Mm-hmm.
Maya Angelou. And for all of you that don't know, I like Nikki Giovanni. She's a poet. Um, you know, poetry has always been my thing. I've been very lyrical and I love to rhyme. I mean, I'm not musically inclined whatsoever, but I sure can write a poem.
I love it. That's when you get the positive right there. She's musically inclined, but she can write a poem. That is all that takes.
Well, no, I'm not so musically inclined, but I can write the heck out of a poem.
I love that. The
So
honesty.
yeah, I love poets. You know, I love the way that, you know, words are able to rhyme and flow and make sense. And you know, those authors are throwbacks. But they I respect them as writers and as authors, and you know, they always hold a special place in my heart, especially Why the Caged Bird Sings, by Maya Angelou. um, and Mr. Langston Hughes, he wrote a lot about the Harlem Renaissance, which I'm very big on. So yeah, big up to them and those writers that came before me for paving a way. So yeah, those are a couple of my favorite writers. Oh, and I know this is totally a random author. Not He's not a random author, but I do love crime novels and suspense thrillers. So
Uh-huh.
I have to throw in Dean Koontz.
Yes.
My man Dean Koontz, I love his stories. Some of them get a little sci-fi-ish, but I read a book not too long ago called Intensity, and man, when I mean that book was intense, it was intense. So yeah.
Ah, my mom is a huge Dean Koontz fan. You
Yeah.
can bet when there's a new book, she is on it. She does not miss a beat.
Yeah, I'm on it too. Like I read that book and I was like, what other books does this man have? He's like brilliant when it comes to, you know, just suspense and the thrill of like his writing. Like you have to check out that book, Intensity. It's a what do you call it? A nail clencher or a nail biter?
Oh, a nail biter. Yeah, I love my nail biters. Oh,
Yes.
yes, I do. I love a good suspense book. There's nothing better,
Yeah.
honestly. So I will make sure to check that out for sure. For sure. All right, Miss Shellice, we're coming up to the last 2 questions. I know I kind of asked earlier within the interview what message do you hope fans will take, but for for new people who are just now listening to this or who are just going to listen to this and who are just discovering you, if you had any message of why they should check out Prince and the Mother's Crown, what message would that be?
Let's see. What they would take away from my book or why they should read it?
Why they should read it?
Why they should read it? There's a million and one books that you can read, but I really feel that Prince and His Mother's Crown really highlights the bond between mother and son from a
Mm-hmm.
child's perspective. And it's really hard for children to be able to put their love of their parents into words. Besides the typical, I love you, mommy, I love you, daddy, but in their heads, they're thinking of a million and different reasons why they love their parents. They just can't articulate them.
Right.
So if you love children and you have children, I think that this is a wonderful book that is able to articulate the the love of a son to his mother, and actually have children recognize that. And maybe it will be able to teach them lessons to be able to talk to their parents and tell them, well, I love you. I love that you make me sandwiches. I love that you take me to school every day. I love that you tuck me into bed at night. I love all these things about you. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
then of course, for all the natural Black moms, I mean, however you want to roll your hair, however you want to
Yep.
roll your hairstyles, just it's a really cute book about especially Black moms and all the different ways that they wear their hair.
Yep.
And they can roll it up, they can braid it, they can wear it straight, they can wear it in a bun, they can wear it all over the place. So it's a really cute book about the pride of African American hair as well, and our heritage, and just the proudness of our lineage with our hair, So
Yes, yes.
check it out.
That's a good reason for me. This showing, the pride of African American in their hair and the positive message. I am down for it for
Yeah.
sure because it's where you read positivity about African American hair in books. So I'm
Mhm.
all for that for sure. Everyone check it out. I highly encourage everyone to check it out. It is a stunning book. All right, coming up to our last question, Miss Shellice. If What other passions do you have outside of writing?
Wow. Well, I am an entrepreneur by nature. I've always been ever since I was a kid. And I know throughout this whole interview, people don't know this about me, but I am visually impaired. I am blind. I became blind over 4 years ago. I lost my vision, unfortunately. And I was actually a fashion designer who owned her own fashion line and owned my own fashion showroom. And I also was in the entertainment and music industry. In my younger days, I interned for Interscope and Geffen Records, and I was over at Source Magazine. So fashion and music have been two loves of mine. And I am still, I still love fashion. And believe it or not, like, I'm still a fashionista, blind to
Yes.
everything. I go to the store and I can pick out my clothes. I feel the fabrics. I know what I'm picking out. If I need to ask about what kind of color something is to be able to mix and match, I do what I need to do to stay looking fly and stay looking cool, but I guess, yeah, those are two loves and passions that I really love to do. You know what I mean? And I know everybody would ask, like, how do you do that? But I do it. It's not actually that hard, because I'm very familiar with textures and feels of fabrics and stuff like that. So I'm able to figure out an ensemble in my wardrobe, and I keep very up to date on my fashion and stuff like that. So, you know, I also wish I could have my own reality show
I
called
feel like you should have your own reality show too. Like,
called
should we try to get a hold of
Blind
MTV?
Fashion. How cool would that be? Blind Fashion, like, have, what you call it, blindfold fashion designers who think that they can do it sighted. Let's see if you can do it not sighted. That's how you know that your fashion and that you are a true fashionista, when you can, in the dark, pick out what you need to look fly.
Oh my goodness, that should be a show. We need to call BET or Bravo TV, someone with a TV. We need to call them.
Heard it from Miss J and Shellice first. You heard it here first.
I love it. There is no limitations. The the impossible is possible. That
Yes.
is the attitude to have. I love it. We need, after this interview, we need to get a hold of BET somebody because you
Right.
need to have your own show for sure. I would watch it. I'm like, this, that lady was on my show. Did you guys know? Yeah, she was
I know.
on my show. So,
Judon Bros, here we are, you know?
yes, yes, I totally agree. Ah, Miss Shellice, you have been an absolute delight. I super appreciate you giving up your time and speaking with me and being, part of the Tea Lounge family. I appreciate that. You have been so wonderful.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm honored to be here, and I hope everybody out there is staying safe and staying well. And I know it's been really tough on everybody, but know that you are strong and that we will make it through these trying times.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Lord. Yes, we will. We definitely will. I definitely want to encourage my audience one more time. Make sure you follow Miss Shellice on all social media platforms. Make sure you go to her website, and also make sure you guys check out her book, Prince and the Crown.
Prince
Oh, sorry about
Mother's
that.
Crown, Tales
Yes,
of My Mother's Hair.
yes, Prince and His Mother's Crown. Please check it out. It's a very stunning book, and it does have a beautiful message about African American, their pride in their hair, and like Shalise said, that bond between a mother and son, through a child's point of view, is very rarely told in books like that. It is so touching. So I highly encourage everyone to check out that book and give Miss Shalise a follow, and make sure you guys support her on her website. And make sure you guys sign the petition for BET to give her shw. That'll be coming up in here in a couple of days. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. I'll be sending out the copies here. So make sure y'all sign those petitions because this needs to happen. uh, Oh my goodness. I just want to thank Miss Shallice one more time for being on the show. And of course, you guys know I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, and I will be back with another great episode of the Tea Lounge. Till then, like Miss Shallice said, everyone stay safe, stay healthy. We will get through these times together. But until then, you guys enjoy your day. We'll be back soon.
Bye.
Bye.